Hi there virtual passengers and welcome aboard the Kodiak again. We're currently in sunny, dry and not very windy New Zealand. We're doing another short hop today in the Kodiak. As you can see, we've got some nice livery on there today, the Safari Wings livery, and we're doing a short hop from New Plymouth down to Wellington, which was the airport that we took off from in my last Kodiak video. So what we're going to do is go through the flight plan now, and then I will set the aircraft up. You won't have to worry about watching that, and then I'll speak to you again when we're ready to take off. So let's have a look at the flight plan for today. So if we have a look at SimBrief first of all, you can see here that we're flying from New Plymouth to Wellington International. We need fuel today of 560 kilos. So relatively light. We've got quite a nice route on some airways today, and we're landing at runway 16. So we're going to take off from runway 05 and land on runway 16 using ILS, so that should be quite good. And then we have got a total of 8 passengers on board today, no cargo, and a payload of 816 kilos, giving us a zero fuel weight today of 2528 or 2.5 tons. With the fuel added on, we're going to be taking off today weighing just over 3 tons. So SimBrief has been confirmed. So if we have a look at Sim Toolkit Pro, I'll be able to show you the map. The map is easy. As you can see, basically, we're taking off from New Plymouth in a northerly direction. I have checked the wind today. It's coming from a north westerly direction. And we're then going to follow the procedure out and then turn left and pick up our routing all the way down to Wellington. And the wind today for Wellington is coming from the south, which is why we're landing on runway 16 as opposed to runway 34. So if we have a look at the Navigraph charts for today, let's just bring those up for you now. Navigraph charts. So we are currently parked in parking bay number 1. We're going to have a nice short taxi, basically taxi onto the runway and then do a turnaround at the back end there and take off from runway 05. And we are following today the, which departure are we on today? We are on the Savilo for Papa departure today. So that is a nice easy departure basically. Take off from runway 05, get to Savilo at anywhere over 2,000 feet, and then we're going to basically turn around and come down this way down to yeah, that's, I'm just double checking. Yep, that's right. Down to Envag, Tokes, Dapno, below 10,000, which is fine because our cruising altitude today is, what is our cruising altitude? Our cruising altitude for today is 8,000 feet, so we'll be absolutely fine. Our approach today, we are going to be approaching on the Te Papa to Delta arrival. So Te Papa to Delta arrival is going to bring us in from Te Papa, down to Rudder, again at over 5,000 feet, down to Hewitt, and then we're going to pick up the ILS and come in. So the ILS today we need to be at 3,500 feet minimum, drop down to 3,000, which is where we pick it up, the ILS, so I'll program that in, so 15 miles out we'll drop down to 3,000, and then we're going to have just hopefully a nice straight flight in. So hopefully everything's going to go well today, and without further ado, let's go in and start to set the plane up. Okay, so first thing we need to do is put the head tracking on so I can see actually what's going on. There we go. Okay, so is the head tracking working? Yep, head tracking is now working. So turn off the yokes, and then what we'll do is we will load in the fuel. And the fuel today, as I already mentioned, is block fuel. Block fuel is 560, so switch that to kilos. Now if we look down at the bottom here, fuel 479, and I want 560, so just a little bit more. So as close to 560 as I can get it. That's pretty spot on. And we've got 8 passengers today. So that is, all of these are going to be filled up. So we'll put everyone in at 77 kilos first of all, and then see what happens. from a weight point of view. Okay, so CG is out of limit because people are too heavy and it's too far back. And I've also got a total takeoff weight of 3047. And my takeoff weight today is 3061. So what I need to do is perhaps just reduce the weight of these people a little bit. So take that person out and just reset it. That'll be the easiest thing to do. So I'll take that person out, make that 0. There we go, and we're at 2970. So if I make the front people a little bit heavier, let's make them say 10 kilos heavier. So 87. So that's put us at 2980. So we need another 80 kilos. So let's make this person 20 kilos heavier. That puts us at 3000. So I need another 61. So let's make this person 107. And this person 107. That should also sort out my CG. Yep, so the centre of gravity is absolutely fine. 3060, 1 kilo out. So that's absolutely fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, is just go around and finish setting up the aircraft. Rather than you having to watch me do all of that, I will talk to you again when we've taxied and we're ready for takeoff. So I'll speak to you shortly. Bye-bye. Welcome back, virtual passengers. The aircraft's all been set up, so I'm just going through and doing the final checks for takeoff. So flaps 1, good. We need to have max prop, and we also need to have high idle on the fuel. That is it. We've got taxi lights can now come off because we're getting ready to take off. Flight plan is all programmed in, as you can see there. So flight plan's all in, rudder trim is done, I've done the aileron trim, so I think we are now ready to take off. I need to put the auxiliary fuel pump on. Okay, good. Brakes on, parking brake off, throttle. Rotating at 65 knots or 60 knots. Oh, a bit too hard on the rudder there. .60 knots rotate. Don't know why my plane keeps going around to the right. There we go. It is. Can't do anything about that. Keep it at rev, max revs. Autopilot's all been set up. I think it's because I had my foot on the rudder. Yeah, there you go. Taking my foot off the rudder and now we're doing alright. Climbing up nicely. Flaps up. Oh, start trimming. Flaps up. Keep the trim going till we've hit 1,500 feet and then we can start the turn. Good. Okay guys, so we have taken off. We'll just have a quick look outside. There we go, there's our airstrip that we've just taken off from. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put the autopilot on shortly. So enjoy the cruise. And I'll see you when we're getting ready for descent. So we'll be descending about 15 miles outside of Whittam, I think it is the name of the waypoint. So I'm going to put autopilot on now. Autopilot goes on, yaw damper goes on. Feet come off the rudder. And that's it, autopilot is on. That's now going to take us to where we need to go. Look at that view outside, isn't it beautiful? Look behind us, see some of the passengers. There we go. So guys, enjoy the cruise and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye. Okay, so welcome back passengers. We're on final approach into Wellington Airport. Hopefully you enjoyed the cruise. There's the runway there, so we're heading bang on for the runway. I'm just waiting to pick up the glide slope, see if the plane will then pick up the glide slope for me automatically. I'm just starting to reduce speed a little bit at the minute, so I can start getting my flaps out. I'm just picking up my speeds now. That's fine. Okay, so let's start reducing speed and bringing out flaps. Landing lights are on, strobe is on, flaps 1 set. Right, okay, so the plane is not descending, so I need to do that. So let's turn the autopilot off. I have control. Okay. Flaps 2. Control the descent, descending far too fast. Use throttle to control descent. I'm above the glide slope at the moment anyway. I'm slightly off on the localizer. Flaps 1 is fine. It's quite a longish runway. I can probably land with flaps 2 today. A little bit more power, just reduce the sink rate. It's still slightly above the glide slope, as you can see with the diamond. And you can see I put FSLTL on, so you can see there's a plane that's just taken off in front of me, which is quite good. Slightly below glide slope, still keeping the localizer on. I will put flaps 2 down once we're on the water. Just trying to slow our descent rate down a little bit. You can see out there the city of Wellington, looks pretty cool. I think our passengers have quite enjoyed it as well. Just reduce our climb, just try and keep us at a rough sort of steady height. There's a little bit of lag on this engine. It just takes a few seconds to react. But we're looking good so far, slightly below glide. Pretty much bang on the localizer. Not much wind, it's pretty much a nice headwind. So we can just enjoy the view as we're coming in, if I don't stall the plane, that is. So just little small tiny movements. I've got my head tracking on, so it's sinking like a stone. That's my own fault, mucking about, moving around. So looking good. Just a little bit more throttle. I'll be putting flaps 2 down once we're level with that island on the right there, or that outland on the right. Slightly low. Just reduce. There you go, it's coming back in again. And another plane has just spawned on the runway, so this is going to be fun. Well, it's taken off now, so that's okay. We'll put them feet on the rudders shortly, ready for braking. Feet on rudders. Oh. Let's get line back up again. Turn the yaw damper off. Still nicely on glide slope. Flaps 2. Bit above glide slope, that's fine. Looking good. Two white, two red on the pappies. Bit low, 3 reds. It'll come back to me in a second. There you go. 2 red, 2 white. A little bit high, but it's the last final bit now. Throttle to idle, start the flare. Reverse thrust. Oh. I thought I had reverse thrust on there. So I mucked that landing up a little bit. That won't be shown in the replay, that's for sure. Okay. And we are done. Bring this back now. Bring that back to low idle. I need to relook at my binds, I think, as to what I've got set up. But otherwise, we landed, which is the important thing. So we'll take the next taxiway off and park up. So apologies about that landing. I thought I had my bindings set to give me reverse thrust, but I'm guessing I didn't. So never mind. This video and this sim and these videos are all about learning, aren't they? So turn off auxiliary fuel pump. And we will turn off our strobe lights, we will turn off our landing lights, and we will keep our taxi light on. Let's go and park up somewhere, shall we? Let's park up next to these vehicles here. Parking brake on. Fuel down. Fuel shut-off valves on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wellington in New Zealand. I hope you enjoyed that flight. Apologies that the landing was a little bit rough, but you know, we made it in the end, which is a good thing. Any landing you walk away from is a good landing. Thanks for joining me on this flight. I hope you enjoyed the replays that are coming up shortly for the takeoff and the landings. And please don't forget to join me in my next video. Look forward to speaking to you then. Goodbye.